I really appreciate it, but damn, that was some play. Give him a Tony, because that is not what I expected.
Hi, you guys.
Hi, friends. We're here. New year, not new us.
You guys, I put up a video of me like
Oh my
taking
God.
pictures, and
It's not funny, but
it's not. But actually, I was making a video about how like if you repurpose your content, if you make it for one page and you share it everywhere else, then you kind of get less attached. Because I'll get 200 views on TikTok, and then I'll put the exact same thing up. I'll usually keep the music and everything. 18,000 views on YouTube, and you're just like, what's different? But I say all that to say, I've been using a walking pad. It'll be a year, January 14th. And I've lost more than 25 pounds.
Okay.
And I still wear the same clothes, which are extra large hoodies that used to be tight. So at least there's that. But I just felt, it wasn't sloppy. I just was like, Kyla, you got a figure now and you haven't, you kind of forgot. So I've been trying to wear my stuff again.
So basically what I'm hearing is that we need to go shopping for clothes.
No, I still don't shop.
I knew you were going to say that. She always, as long as I've known this chick, we used to work somewhere, a fashion company. We say this every time. If you look at my LinkedIn, you can figure it out.
It's on my LinkedIn finally.
And we had a discount.
I bought 3 things from there.
You bought 3 things. And I was like, me, every week, I'm like, ooh, do. You used to deliver these things like basically to our desks. No, not Kyla. No, you never went to like those sample sales that we were able to go to? Nothing. I was like,
I bought 2 pair of jeans. And then I bought a challenge hoodie when that gives it away. When we went to the music festival we had in 2023.
That's right. You're right.
We skipped the first one. Yeah. So I just, body issues. I had my kiddo 5 years ago, and that impacted me way more than I thought. And then like life, and then especially married weight, relationship weight. Y'all be sitting around ordering food, and my husband is not like, hey, are you hungry? You want Burger King? He's like, what do you want from Cheesecake Factory? And you're like, shit, all right, you know what I mean? But Dominic, what are you watching? What have you been watching lately?
Same shit.
Well, no, the Golden Globes are coming.
I'm gonna watch that. Okay, this is gonna be so random, maybe. You know what I've really been obsessed with? I love this show, so this is not like weird for me, but it might be like random to especially our demographic of people that listen to us. I've been watching old school, like 80s, early 90s Unsolved Mysteries with Robert Stack. Do you ever watch Unsolved Mysteries? I know. I one of these days you're gonna send me a curveball and be like, actually, I love Unsolved Mysteries, and I don't know what. Like, I was like, oh, this is on Peacock now. And I just have been binging like every season. I go to bed listening to it. I love this show so much.
Listen, I went to bed last night. I watched Salt Lake City's episode 16 and went to bed and was dreaming about Greek tragedies and people stabbing each other. And I was like, you literally watched that an hour ago. I can't. That is as vivid as my dreams are. So if I watched Unsolved Mysteries, I would be like waking up in panic all night long.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Yes. Another show that I've been watching, and you can't watch it 'cause it's season 1, but there's a new Bravo show. Did you ever hear of Shahs of Sunset on Bravo?
No, but I did see the commercial for the Valley Persian edition.
Style.
I saw that when I was watching Housewives.
So half the cast, or like at least 3 of them, are from a show. It was on for several seasons on Bravo called Shahs of Sunset. And now they're on this show with other people. So it's a kind of a outlier of Shahs of Sunset, but also The Valley. So The Valley is another show that's from some of the older people from Vanderpump Rules now are on The Valley. And I love The Valley. You could watch The Valley because they're going to season 3 this year. So
I only know The Valley from Clueless. And she said he lives in a place called The Valley.
Yeah, that's where they live. That's outside of LA. And so I have been watching that. That's the other show.
Is The Valley like a cool place now?
I think that was the premise, basically. So you have some of the Vanderpump Rules staff.
Okay.
And then like other friends of theirs that are like not within that mix. And it was about basically these people that we've kind of knew, like party people, Vanderpump Rules people. Now they have kids and families, that kind of thing. And they live in the Valley. So that's where the name comes from. They're having 2 new full-time, I think they're full-time at least, cast members that were also from Vanderpump Rules that will now be on the show regularly. So I think they're done filming, but season 3. So season 3 should be coming out this year. So the Valley Persian style is kind of like a extension of I don't know if you want to call it a franchise, but it has a similar logo. But it's a few people from a different show. I used to love Shaws of Sunset, so I've been watching that as well.
Hearing you say the Valley is making me think of Jersey Shore. Do you remember that?
That was I used to love MTV during Jersey Shore, The Hills, Laguna Beach. I was watching all of those religiously.
TRL, that was my favorite.
Oh, rest in peace.
I know. So I've been watching The Bear.
That's right. You told me that yesterday.
Oh my gosh. Now, that show is dark.
Is it?
It's not like stab and drugs dark, but he's grieving. And so it's like a family that's grieving and they're trying to keep a restaurant open.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't watch that within like 3 hours of going to bed. But it's very, very good. The acting is sublime. And then, so I think I told you a couple weeks ago, YouTube started to show me stuff. Because, YouTube has full-on series. Mm-hmm. And I started watching this series called On the Line by some food magazine. And they basically will follow an executive chef for a day. Do you know these people get in at 8 in the morning for dinner service at 5? Mm-hmm. I had no idea. I was fascinated. And so then it started to show me like people going to Paris and stuff for Christmas. So that was cute. But then to now start watching The Bear, which I'd never been interested in, but season 4 just wrapped. So I was like, I can watch it finally.
You are so ridiculous.
Season 2, obsessed. It is so good. The main actor is like my first boyfriend ever, so that part is like fun. But
I've heard. Well, they used to. I mean, I think they still do. I remember like they always seem to sweep like award shows, like Emmys and all that kind of stuff. What's his name? Jeremy Allen White. I think he's so hot.
I'm watching it and I'm like, wait, he's not really a chef though. Because you're watching it, you would think you were watching a vlog. You were just watching somebody's life. The acting is so good. Now, for me, it helps that I don't know any of the characters from anything else, right? Mm-hmm. So that kind of helps. The main female chef, the black lady who just won something and she was like the Chanel girl or whatever.
Yep, she's won a few times. Yeah.
I don't know her from anything else either. So I am special that way, and maybe I'm not, where like the first time I meet you, I will always see them as these characters now. But they're so good. They are very...
I've heard that. Everyone raves about it.
Yeah, so okay. Are you ready to talk about Salt Lake City?
The finale, the season finale.
Wrap up the episode in one sentence. What do you think?
Oh my gosh. In one sentence, the episode, I would say, wow, holy shit. I feel like the Greek tragedy play was majority of the episode. Like anything before that, I'm going to be completely honest with everybody, I really don't remember. It was that, because it was that, like, I mean, I was just like, I knew that they were doing this play, obviously, right? Angie had mentioned it. This was not what I was expecting. Were you?
So my 3 words, actually I got 4 words. What the fuck?
That's a good one.
Bronwyn. What the fuck, Bronwyn?
That too.
But honestly, I think WTF would carry the whole episode too, because I just
I'm gonna keep mine, comma. I'm also gonna say what the fuck, because I remember. So me and Kyla did something we don't normally do. We watched it in real time. Like we didn't usually. I wait till the next day. I watch it on Peacock. And I was like, I don't think I can wait. Like, I really want to see how this wraps up. And we were texting back and forth. And I just remember, I think that one of the first things I said to you was, I forgot. I was like, Meredith is insane.
Yeah.
Meredith is insane. And I think Mary is activated because she was. Yeah. And I agree with those two things. I still stand by them because the only thing pre-Greek tragedy that I remember, it was really irking me in my soul, which I know very dramatic, but I guess we'll start there. I know that they all woke up in the morning. They're like, sunshine and daisies and Meredith's happy. And we're like, some of the girls were like, okay. Bronwyn being one of them, because apparently that previous night, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, Meredith messaged Bronwyn to talk to her about like everyone's out to get her. And it almost seemed as if she was having some sort of, like, I don't know, panic attack or something about all this stuff. And which is why Bronwyn was uncomfortable that morning, because here's Meredith making like coffee for everyone and lattes. And here's Bronwyn going like, okay, the lady I was talking to last night is not who this lady is. And Bronwyn goes to talk to Mary about it, right? Mary basically saying, you got to talk to her.
I don't think I've ever seen... I'm sorry. I don't think I've ever seen those two on their own. And I thought it was cute. I liked Bronwyn and Mary.
Yeah. I remember, and not on their own. I'm sure there wasn't. I feel like there had to be another moment in the past 2 seasons at least. But I do remember Bronwyn's, like, I think if it wasn't her first episode, it was her first introduction into the group last season. And she showed up in this like couture heart fuzzy fur dress. It was a big heart. It's very Bronwyn. And her and Mary had a moment talking about like fashion and stuff. And then Brittany comes in, and that's actually a good episode. That will sum up like all of that's for you, like kind of some of the dynamics. So I always assumed or thought like they would be a lot closer, but you're right. There have not been too many like one-on-one scenes with them.
So I'm watching the episode. The producers are so brilliant because you're watching it and you're like, okay, all right, we got a fun Meredith episode. She's even taken us on the emotional roller coaster, and it's such a toxic relationship where if she's in a good mood, you think the day will be good. And if she starts off in a bad, and I'm like, that is so much power she has, even through the screen. Yeah. That's bullshit. But also, but then you're like, okay, oh my gosh, she was freaking out. But then Bronwyn is talking to Mary, because Mary's like, but we were all just together. 15 minutes later, she's texting you to gossip later. Right. So, like, that's excluding Mary, which isn't fair. But also, it made me think of what Heather said in the van, where she's like, I will not talk about this with Meredith on my own, because she's going to try to switch the story. And I was exactly like, that's what Heather was saying. Yep.
So then later on in the episode, and this is when I texted you, I used to work for Lululemon. I did. Yeah. They're great. So I can see a Define jacket a mile away, and she was wearing her little jacket, right? I think she's wearing a tennis skirt.
It was cute.
I think she's such a beautiful woman. She's tall, got a beautiful figure. You know what I mean? Like, she is a beautiful, like, stunning woman. But I'm going to tell you, girl, whatever is going on in her brain has even me concerned, because when Bronwyn goes up there to talk to her and is basically telling her, like, what was that last night? And the moment Meredith goes, that didn't happen. And you saw Bronwyn's face. I felt that in every part of my body, because you saw this, like, look of, I don't know if you want to call it shock, or like she was stunned, or like it was almost like, I will almost always believe Bronwyn, because I just think she's that girl. Like, I don't think she's a liar by any means. I think there's certain times where, and she kind of explained herself at the end of the episode when she was talking about like Todd and stuff like that, when she's being vulnerable, like kind of why she talks the way she does about it, to like kind of shoo it off because she's insecure within her own marriage and whatnot. But when Meredith just flat out denies, like, that didn't happen, I'm going to tell you something, because I've been in situations before where, you know, like, there are certain, like, friends of mine, especially from the past, that have accused me of being, like, too overly dramatic, this and that. And I have been accused of, like, being, like, that didn't happen. Whatever your experience is, that did not happen. And I'm just like, I remember what I'm wearing, what that person's wearing. I remember where I was. I remember the words, and I remember how they affected me emotionally, which is why I had a certain reaction. And to be told that didn't happen is so insane to me, because I know what that feels like, to be in something and someone goes, no. And you feel like you're crazy. You're like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? And that's when I texted you, and I'm like, she is insane, you know?
Yeah, that scene was really, really hard to watch, because...
Totally.
The editors are also messing with us pretty bad, because...
I think so too.
To God, there's a missing scene. Bronwyn does come in pretty hot. I mean, she does come in.
She was pissed.
Hey, I really would like to talk to you, because you are treating me like I'm the middle person, and you're getting information from me and going back and forth. That didn't happen. Wait, is it Bronwyn or is it Brittany that does the word salad? Because Bronwyn will give you 18 things, and you don't know which one you're responding to, right? Meredith, being a lawyer, she answers the question that was asked, and you're going to have to take it slow. Meredith, did we talk about this? Yes or no?
That's a good point.
Tell other people the things I say. Too much. It was too much. So, like, it broke my heart to see the whole scene because you could see Bronwyn was so affronted. She was just like literally clutched your pearl.
Yeah.
She was like, what? How dare you say that didn't happen?
Mm-hmm.
But if you step back, she's in this sunny, bright dress with these long ass dangling earrings. Meredith is dressed like the angel of death in all black. It escalated quickly. So I'm hoping there are some drop scenes that we didn't get. Lisa could probably come at her like that. I don't know if Bronwyn could. Mm-hmm. Well, clearly she can't because Meredith shut it down pretty quick. Mm-hmm. But like, I don't know
because I don't know if she came in hot. I think it escalated though really quickly when she was told like that, and then it went from 0 to 100 for her. But I think it was because exactly what she was basically saying. She feels, at least this is what I'm interpreting Bronwyn's how she's expressing her feelings. It's Meredith, girl, you have used all these other people to either distract or create another narrative other than whatever the truth actually is. And now you have used me because you have nobody else to do that. And I had your back. I try to defend you. I try to be a voice of reason for you with the other girls. And you just fucked me. And I think that's what, like, when she was told, and I think it's quite clear too, like, Bronwyn has been also, especially this season, very honest about a lot of her, like, personal traumas and then kind of, like, talking about her insecurities. And you see her mom this whole season. So you start to, like, put together all the pieces of maybe why she, reacts the way that she does. And I think they're all, and I've kind of said this about most of the women, at least at some point, it's, you start to, like, piece together the person when you see all these little fractions, which I would hope that's part of the show. However, that's how I watch it, at least. I tend to have too much of a psychoanalysis, whereas like other like Bravo fans are like, wow, what a bitch, like blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't see the world like that. Like we're just all like psychotic, which is some truth to that. But I think that's what it was. It's like she's realized like, bitch, I was your fucking friend and I have defended you. And now at least how she feels is that she feels like a pawn in Meredith's game. And now she's like, and I think that's what she said. One of the things that she said when she walked away, she's like, we're done. I'm not doing it anymore. Like, you have nobody else. Those two Bobbsey twins, there's nobody else that she can try to manipulate. And
I think Bronwyn definitely is a pawn in Meredith's schemes. And I also, I don't even know if I would say that Meredith befriended her just to get information. I think she preys on her weakness and the fact that Bronwyn is newer and she does want to be a part of the cool club.
Yeah.
And we've gone back and forth between thinking it was Bronwyn that does that and Brittany does it. And maybe both of them that do as the two newer cast members.
It's a combo.
But I know, especially in Greece, we've definitely seen Bronwyn hanging out with Meredith a lot more. And I'm sure at the reunion, we'll see a whole bunch of clips of them hanging out a lot more. And we'll be like, dang, no wonder. And I really do think that Bronwyn probably has more of a one-sided relationship with Meredith.
I'm sure. The tragedy of it all was when they all met up with Angie's cousin.
Yes.
So I'm a sucker for an Angie family scene, whether it's her dad or someone. I know. I love Angie K, and I love her family. I love how emotional she gets because I think that's what she is. She's very connected to her culture and her lineage. I love any opportunity to see that because it really shows a very like human side to somebody.
Yes, and I didn't realize that she didn't know that much about her mom.
I know.
And I hope when like Electra watches this back, if she does, right, as a teenager, you're probably embarrassed your mom's on TV. But, you know, when Angie talks about her mother, and that's why she does want to learn more about Greece, and like she hopes Electra takes on some of that too. So I think it's really cool. I mean, even her name, Electra, is like such an old school Greek name. So I thought it was really, really good. I like to see like Lisa being fun and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so do I agree.
Yeah, I like to see that because it was her, the cousin, and then I think it was Heather on the other side.
I can't remember if it was on their way there or leaving. At some point when they're in the van and they show like Lisa talking about how much she loves trees and all that, and Heather's like, "You are a little hippie." That is a side of Lisa Barlow I love seeing. It's not superficial. It's not anything. And you know what's really funny? And I mean, we can transition into the main event of the episode, the Greek tragedy play. And the big thing that I really, I guess, feel weird saying enjoyed because it all struck a hard chord with all of them emotionally. But, you know, I look for that in people of like, listen, I love the sunshine and rainbows. However, you connect with people when you understand where they have come from, and that includes the trauma and the bad stuff. It is the good stuff, but you also really need to see, if you want to at least, to connect with another human being, you have to understand like where someone came from in the tough times and the trials and tribulations and the challenges. And Lisa, I really appreciated what she had to say of like really explaining finally for the first time that I've ever really known Lisa Barlow on TV. It's, you learn kind of why she is the way she is. Why does she see that? Why does she's got to talk about jewelry and prices and this and that and all? So I enjoy that aspect. The ones I got to share, at least, I really appreciated. But damn, that was some play. Let's give him a Tony, because that is not what I expected.
Well, the thing about the play, I didn't know what to expect, because in the car ride, both times, Lisa's leaning up, like she's fully invested in the other girls, and, you know, Meredith's off to her side looking out the window. So Lisa was giving group energy, which I loved. I was like, okay, this is going to be, I don't know what I was expecting. For someone to sit down and say, tell me about yourself, tell me about each girl, but...
In the episode prior, where they said like, oh, we have someone come in and ask questions. If my memory serves me, when they showed that flashback scene the first time, it was just them asking about, like, when Lisa's like asking the girl about her sign, and she's like going basically down the list, and she finally says, I'm a Pisces. She's like, oh, I was gonna say that next, like that, which was funny. I didn't realize, though, I guess I should have figured.
Right.
Them asking about all the other girls, I'm like, that is just a bomb waiting to happen. I'm like, you're gonna ask these chicks?
It is. And so the play is each of them with the color that represents the character, and then the lady is reading off what they think about each other. And so I thought it was really, 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 really petty, but also very smart that you would have it start with one character and then speak. Then it's like Meredith turns to Lisa, but it's not that those were words from Meredith. It was a compilation of all the words that the playwright got from everybody. If you notice, Whitney had the best one, because hers was nothing about her character. It was, you have a voice that wants to be shared and people keep shutting you down.
Yeah.
That was by far the lightest one. And I was like, go ahead, Whitney. Because that means that everybody has been collectively saying, chill to nothing about you. So I was like...
Yeah. That was interesting. It was... Obviously, the editing portion of it, it's from a viewer standpoint from my couch.
Right.
It was like, I liked how they did it. They were all sisters, right? And they had each one come up. One sister led to another, right? I can't remember the order, but hypothetically, I would say it's like they had the sister Lisa up, but then the next person they would come up and say is Bronwyn. So from a viewer standpoint, though we know it's not, it seemed as if they're presenting as if whatever that person is saying came from the person that they were like put the camera to, or who the sister was, when in fact, to your point, what you just said, it wasn't in any kind of, or it was just like they took the statements and they picked and choose, I guess. I mean, I don't know, the playwright, like they inserted the things that they said about each other at wherever, and didn't necessarily mean it came from the sister that they like taught, like was on the stage, so to speak. But man, wasn't sure, like when they first started going there in the play, I'm like, is someone gonna like storm off or walk away? Like I was kind of waiting for it. I mean, luckily they didn't. They had respect for the
reason why I think people didn't walk off is because I'm sure Meredith in her head is like, this is art. Maybe there's some exaggeration to the words, right? When you saw Brittany, she and Meredith had the least reactions, but Brittany also is from the theater and acting world. She's probably seen and heard some shit. She was not taken aback. And also, to be fair, the ladies are pretty open about how they feel about her.
Yeah, that was a surprise. Yeah.
Was hurt. Bronwyn had one tear. She said, I was bawling my eyes out.
She was the affected the most. They were talking about it. She was really affected.
You could see Mary, but she was a little bit on the more composed side. But Angie,
totally,
definitely Lisa, were really like,
Lisa.
Shit. I think that Heather's was kind of okay, but I definitely walked away from it like, wow, Whitney had the best one. But okay, hold on. I got a whole bunch of notes. I wrote my favorite lines for each one. Lisa, treats the others like servants. I was like, But then, to your point, because you're a fan of a good vulnerability moment, she's like, I grew up taking care of my sisters, and I always had to work so hard for all this stuff, and it's important to me that I can provide for myself. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, I was like, because you've asked me before, do you think that she goes home and feels a way about this? I was like, of course not. She's not introspective. I apologize, Lisa Barlow, because
I know I do too.
Like, damn.
I do too. I will say this too, since we're making an apology to Lisa Barlow. It was the first time, I think in 6 seasons, where she said something that I felt and related to in terms of that, of having we've had this conversation. We're very like money people, like finance, but not because we're greedy bitches. It's because it's a metric of success for us. It's how we can help our families, our friends, society. Like, we don't look as money like, I want to earn so much and hoard it in my bank account and like, say and give the finger to everybody else. We don't look at money that way. And I realized when she started saying that, it's also a way that she's proving to herself, because she has such high expectations for herself. I was like, yes, I related to it, because even though, like, obviously I'm not rich or anything, sometimes when I buy something that I think is of value, where it's maybe it's my iMac, or it is maybe like certain clothes that I buy, I'm not looking to brag about it or anything, but I do have caught myself in moments of like, yeah, I mean, I bought this and it was cost this much and blah, blah, blah. And I swear to God, it had nothing to do with because I'm trying to prove I'm better than anybody. Right. I have to say it to myself because I work hard for the things that I have. They're not bought by anyone else but me. I don't have a husband. I don't got, you know what I mean? And so I related to her more than I think I ever have when she said that.
Some book or person has said, like, your first $10,000 you ever earn, like, if you own a business like that on your own, nothing will ever compete. Like, and it's kind of like when you buy that first big bag, whatever that thing is, nothing will ever feel like that. We are in a very capitalist place, but like, it's hard to kind of quantify your other success. I can look at this podcast and be like, oh my gosh, we got 400 downloads. I know that means something. But in our transactional world, somebody saying, hey, I love your show, here's $400 an episode, hits different. It just hits different. And so when she said that, I was just like, I feel like everyone could take something from that, because even if it wasn't like I was stressed out from caring for my sisters, even if it was like I always had to share my stuff, or I always had to give them whatever I had. And she's like, this stuff is mine. I was like, oh, I loved it. Okay. For Heather, they said, laughs off everything so that you don't have to face it. I was like, oh.
I related to that too, yeah.
Bronwyn, you treat loyalty like a party favor.
I relate to that too. Yeah.
And to think, the editing, again, brilliant, because they let us know this was 3 days ago. So even though it's playing out now with her having the conversation with Meredith, these are words that have been said. So this means everyone pretty much has noticed that. Angie, sharp voice, sharp tongue. Brittany, well, this was Lisa on her own. She said she's chasing butterflies and ladybugs in her head. I thought that was hilarious. Meredith, arguing with you is like shouting into a maze. The visual of that, I was just like, what? Because it tells you, and also how she spins the story, and it could go 18 different places. I was like, oh my gosh. How accurate. Then, lastly, Mary, they said, needs forgiveness and conviction is a cage. And I was just like, so even if they had not named the play The Sisters, I did like that familial aspect, because you can tell that they all see each other. And it was a very interesting kind of way to like say, ta-da, this is how people see you. I've collected all 7 opinions. And that part was absolutely striking. Like, I had goosebumps watching it. I kind of got them now, because I was just like, oh my gosh, this is how these people think about you, right?
And one would hope that coming off of something like this, and I think some of the women definitely did, because you definitely saw it when they like were decompressing and they started going around, and not that they were like laughing or making light of it, but they kind of were like, I'll give grace. They were processing in real time the way that they see fit. Bronwyn was like, I don't know what the fuck y'all saw, but that was horrifying. And I think that it was I think I would have that reaction too, but I mean in a way of, which is where I'm getting to, my point that I'm getting to is I would hope that them or anyone would look at that, and instead of either being offended, making light of it, blah, 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 whatever the case might be, make excuses, you do some deep self-reflection of like, okay, why do people, or even one person, see me in that way?
Yeah.
That's what I often, and I think I try to practice that even in my own life. I think we all can benefit of going to Greece and having this lady do this with our group of friends or family or whomever you might be.
I don't know if I can handle it. I don't know.
I guess my big thing would be I would hope that people can do some very deep and needed self-reflection of like, okay, it's one thing when we want to bitch and moan our friends and be at restaurants and fight and get kicked out, all this kind of stuff. But sometimes it takes, and I think this is what the power of art can do, it's they are literally acting out these, whether you want to say stigmas or personality traits or feelings of how people view you in real time. And it's a different, lens when you see it acted out in front of you. Instead of maybe having a friend that knows you, which, one could argue and hope that that's the opinion you take to heart the most to do some reflection. But we all know this. Like sometimes that's also like we're not wanting to hear it. It could be wrong place, wrong time, whatever the case might be. Seeing someone who has nothing to do with any of this,
I know,
take the words from your people that know you and then act in front of you. I would hope to God these women do deep self-reflection and figuring out, okay, why is it that people see me this way, or that I talk about my money, or like I treat people like servants, or my relationship to loyalty, whatever the case might be. I would hope so, because I know that I would, because damn, they did not shy away from any of the details or the verbiage. So I mean, by the way, a round of applause for that playwright, man.
Listen,
I'm like, did she have a book or something? Like, that was good.
It was very good. And so I didn't think about this until you were talking. Somebody was sitting in that chair thinking, damn, that was my word exactly, though.
Yep. Yeah.
And so that part is also pretty hurtful. So we got an interesting, Angie was quiet for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And she was crying when she was talking, and she was like, thankfully she didn't say what Lisa said before, I argue with you because I love you. She was just like, I do like the back and forth, but I mean it to be banter, not to be hurtful, right? And so then she apologizes to Lisa, and that
was a nice moment. Yeah.
It was hilarious when they took us back to the floral party where it was like, no, you meant that to be. Remember when we brought the horse to give back? That was pretty dark. So I think that's interesting. But then Lisa had her vulnerable moment. Bronwyn kind of mostly projected again. I don't.
Well, one thing she did say though, and I think, and I was alluding to this previously when she was talking to Meredith, one thing that made total sense in my head in terms of her and how she's presented on the show, whether it's editing or how she presents herself, is how she said, well, actually, I think it came out, I'm sorry, I'm speeding up a little bit, but it's all the same shit. When after Meredith stormed off, Meredith had her moment of being vulnerable. I thought that was pretty tone deaf, because I'm like, here we go, we're gonna hear something from Meredith, and it was just all like, she said a couple things. I'm like, okay, and then the rest of it, I'm like, okay. I was Heather in that moment, who was kind of rolled her eyes for a minute, because I saw, okay, you're not taking any account. If there was a time to take any kind of accountability, it would have been there. She couldn't do that, so she had to storm off. But one thing that Bronwyn said in relation to that, it's when Meredith came back out, and I think it sums up maybe some of these, I don't know if inconsistencies, but these harsh moments from Bronwyn, of her talking about her own marriage, and in order for her to kind of like deal with it and her own insecurity in her marriage, she has to like pivot and be like, everything's great. Yep. No, everything's fine. Yes, we're good. And you notice when she does that, she never goes into great detail. She just kind of like covers it up, like, yeah, we're fine. I just talked to Todd. Like, it's good. It's cool. And it's not because she means it. It's because for me to be able to deal with this, to get through the next moment, the next dinner, the next day, I have to do this. Because if I unleash this box, I'm just going to melt. And that's what I got from that.
Still, it was really, really poor timing. And she's also assuming that that's how Meredith would feel and how she would act. And so there's a divide there. I don't think that Bronwyn does that all the time. I think Bronwyn, whatever private, personal conversations they have, you guys need to have them less in person and more on an app where you can bring it back up with the receipts. Because Meredith is probably the type to like have a conversation, go back and review it the next day. That's what lawyers do. And she probably needs that record of it too, right? Because I don't think it's a far stretch to say that Bronwyn and Meredith are not similar people. They are not. I don't see anything about them that is similar. And so, Bronwyn, I get that you might be defensive and act that way, but I don't think that that's Meredith's excuse. I also did not like how Meredith said, I come from a culture that cherishes language, and so I use my words.
I thought that was kind of. I would have been offended a little bit by that. Like, what am I? And trash?
I said bitch in a nice way, but girl, take off your lawyer hat, chill. You're not in a courtroom. You're not in a deposition. You can definitely turn those things off. Stop.
Yeah.
But now, if you just prefer not to, sure, or if you prefer to just stay quiet and listen and observe, that's okay too. But I will say this. I kind of feel like Mary, would we be surprised if she doesn't come back? She was pissed. Or to your phrase, she was activated. I've never seen her that way. She looked set up.
Yeah, I will say this. So basically this is how that whole episode closes out. So they are pressing Meredith, to me, rightfully so. I would have. She exits because she normally, and that's another thing that really pisses me off about Meredith. It's, I follow the episodes, her trajectory on the season, the show. Girl, when the kitchen gets a little too hot for you, you walk away every time.
Jumps out the window.
You jump, you quite literally. And then that's when, to your point, like when we're talking about Mary, they're all kind of like, tat, tat, tat. And Mary's, what are we doing?
I know.
And I talk about something that I felt every word that Mary said was, and we've talked about this, Mary does not put on anything for the show. At least it does not come across that way. When Mary has something to say, we listen. She was just like, we're supposed to be friends and we can't tell this girl how like we are concerned. And I felt, and they're all kind of like, and
Lisa was even like, oh my gosh.
Total, exactly. And I swear she had nodded her head at least. Again, maybe editing got it. Who knows when she actually did. But it fell within that. She was receptive, at least. She wasn't combative. They all were in agreement. And here comes Meredith trolloping out.
In her third corporate outfit.
I know. I'm like, girl, are you hot?
So was it weird that Lisa didn't go to the bathroom with Meredith when she left? I was waiting for that.
You know what? I agree with you. And I thought that too. She certainly made up for it at the end of the episode when she
did, but I was waiting for that.
That's a good point, because I did think that too.
The conversation would have gone completely different if Meredith walks out with Lisa and you guys are talking about me again when I'm not here.
Yeah,
right? I think that would have been
good point. But I'll tell you, Mary, I agree, and I think that came from a place that I feel like I would have probably a similar reaction of like, we have been floating whenever that episode was, which feels like so many episodes ago, the whole plane ride of it all. We have been sitting here going tap, 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 back, forth, try to talk to her. Mary doesn't want to hear it. She gets defensive. We yell. This one then feels so offended that you have to go below the belt. Whitney has to call her an alcoholic, pill popper, Meredith, and then she does apologize within this episode for that. So we're going back and forth, and I think Mary is just like, girl, enough of this. And she's totally right. And she's probably saying the thing that should have been said all along. It's not all this other like fluff shit. She's like, I don't know what's going on with you, but I see no bullshit here in terms of there is something not consistent about at least your mental processing, because we're all have similar, you can't lie to all of us. we were all there. We have all seen things. We've all had experiences with you. This is what I did not like. Simply because, and I don't know her, I knew it would activate Meredith. Because if you're going to bring up her husband, we all know the thing, blah, blah, blah in the past.
Brittany already tried this.
Exactly. Very sensitive. And it just sounded like they were all insinuating, like, we're concerned about you. I don't know what's going on at home. I'm like that. When you start doing that with someone, unless you have a receipt ready to go right in front of you, some hardcore fact, I don't ever advise people to start doing that, because people naturally, even if they are maybe a little mentally, not there in that moment because they are going through something emotional, they're not going to go, you know what? Let me start talking about how actually my husband's been cheating on me. Like, it ain't gonna happen. So you got to toe lightly. So Bronwyn coming out and saying it just, I knew none of that was gonna go well, and obviously, guess what? It didn't.
But also, it was such a funny scene because I had to think back, and Heather had not been around the conversation, and she kind of was like, "Wait, tell me more."
Mm-hmm.
He just wants the dish.
Oh yeah, because none of them knew about what Bronwyn said.
It. Yeah, yes. That's right. Now maybe Whitney told her when they talked about the lunch, but Heather's like, because Heather just
like, say what? Girl, what did you see in New York?
She just wants to be entertained, and I love that part. But to be fair, Bronwyn, out of all the times you said you talked to Meredith, even if that was what y'all talked about on the roof. Like, you know what I'm saying? And out of all the times that you talked to her, this is not the place for this public.
Now, granted, to give her credit, she did say, I don't know who it was. We just saw Seth. There was a woman. I don't know who it was. She did say that. However, here's the thing. You're saying this story, to your point, in the midst of you all insinuating that there's something, maybe she feels mentally unstable, whatever the word you want to use, maybe just going through a lot emotionally to cause her to act maybe outside of herself, because possibly is it something in your marriage, and then you say all that in front of the girl, it just, and I don't make any apology. I'm sorry. I told disclaimer, I've been consistent. I'm so over Meredith this whole season, and with the show, I don't want to see her back in a full-time capacity. I apologize. Unless something sparks in the reunion, to me, I'm kind of like 99% there. I'm like, there's no like turning that ship on that opinion, though she's not asking for it, so whatever. Only thing I'm going to say, it's sort of devil's advocate, is say she is really like going through something mentally and emotionally, like something is going on in her personal life that is just now taking over and you can't think straight. I have been there. A lot of people can relate to that. I'm just going to say, when you have all the women there talking about your shit, whether it's true or not, that's not the point. It feels like too damn much, that it's like,
it's too much.
If that is true, that she is going through something, it is way too much. And let's not forget, they're doing all this while they're on camera.
And you're still trying too hard, Bron, when you're trying to find the trigger. Right. And you're not my therapist, you're not the anthropologist, chill. Mm-hmm. But to Meredith's credit, because she doesn't ask, who else have you said this to? Who else have you been talking? Right? Because that was the big pivot when Brittany brought her part. Oh, so you're sharing it. And Bronwyn, you're actually sharing this. Now you've said this to a whole bunch of other people. Yeah. So at least for that, she was singularly upset and she held on to that, right? Because if she went into a who else knew, then it would have kind of it would have weakened it a little bit. So I will give her that. But I don't remember this from the Atlanta series. I like that they showed the clips, like one image of the women and said what they're doing now. And it was like, Lisa's still talking to trees.
Mm-hmm. They do it after everyone.
She's still doing this. I thought that was so cute. But I was waiting for Brittany's. I was like, oh, that's right. She doesn't have a snowflake.
No, not yet.
So
not yet,
at least. Kind of sad. Yeah. I was like,
I will say, listen, the only other annoying thing is that we could have predicted.
Yeah.
It's Meredith leaving. She can get her Uber, whatever the fuck it is. Lisa goes off after her. They're doing their little Bobsy twin thing that they do. I felt I was with the other group mentally. I'm like, yeah, I'm with them. I'm like, they're being hypocrites, especially Lisa, with this whole, like, you want to give Heather shit, right, for being quote unquote Britney's mouthpiece. You have literally been Meredith's mouthpiece for the last 6 years now. Like, you guys are so annoying, and I think it's too much. And I think the women are gonna have realized that too. It's like, you're just gonna do whatever she says or does or what you think that she needs. You are attaching yourself to that train car for whatever reason. And I agree with Heather. I mean, she was just like, walk the fuck away. And I could not agree more. I know there's a lot of conversation online that people really are not like into Heather anymore, which I do not feel that way. I can understand, like, they all annoy me to some extent. That's life. The people that you love the most annoy the fuck out of you too. Yeah. But I was with that other group. I'm like, go. I just want to go away. I'm done with this. Go away. I'm over you.
Heather's like, but if you're gonna leave, really leave. Don't just go over there and start talking shit all out.
Agree. Well, yeah, because she's like, we can hear you, and I agree with that. I was with that too. I'm like, you're just right over there. Like, they can hear you.
And I'll tell you what, if they do not show us the video clip of all of them at the reunion, all of them in the car going together because she couldn't get an Uber.
I know. Listen,
they all had to ride back together. Mm-hmm. So, have there been other series that have ended not in their host city? Because they're still in Santorini, Greece.
I know. Well, remember, I think we talked about that. We're like, are they going to end the season in Santorini? They did.
I know.
I can't. I'm obviously doing it really quickly, and there's been all the episodes of all the franchise. There's nothing that's immediately coming back to mind of them ending a season on their cash trip. I'm not coming up with anything right away. So I don't think so.
I don't think so. So that was really interesting. That girl.
MVP
is still the exception. I know.
Totally.
So I don't know how old the article is, but Dom shared with me that Angie K was in the New York Times magazine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was recent.
The article was really good. I was reading it. She looks so cute, and I don't think about the opening. I listened to the taglines, but they were talking about what a big deal it was that she's right there in the middle, and she's one of the newer cast members. She's been there like 3 years, 4 seasons. Mm-hmm. And so I learned so much about her. And honestly, I didn't realize she was that tiny. They said she's like 4'3" or something. So it was a really good article. And then to come into this episode and this being her trip. And I was really proud of her because the trip looked beautiful. It looked like it was really successful.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to tell you, if there's anything that I took away, I mean, there's a lot. I'll tell you one thing, and I swear I thought about this in every episode that they were in Greece. I was like, I think that's where I want to go on my honeymoon if I ever get someone to ask me out. I already made up my mind. I'm like, I want to go there.
Manifest it. Put on a vision board.
That was Salt Lake City. The season's over. I'm depressed.
Part 1 of the reunion is this Tuesday. So talk to me. Is it going to be one night, an episode every night, or is it going to be one a week?
Same thing. One every week.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. So rarely we have 3 weeks. So there's 3 part. Yeah.
Oh, boo. This is why I don't watch reunions. Okay, so are we going to talk about them, or can I wait and watch all 3 at once?
No, I can't wait. We got to talk about it. I can't. Because this is like the Super Bowl of the season. I'm like, I cannot wait. I want to, because here's they didn't show it in the reunion trailer. I'm not full, and I was really like, oh, damn, they're not going to do this. They're sneaky, and this is Salt Lake City. And so I'm prepared for anything. That I'm still wondering, are they going to drop a bomb and that there's still footage from the airplane? That's all. I'm going to tell you what, I can't wait for all the like whatevers. That is my only thing that if they do not have a single fucking thing, bravo, and whoever your media company is. So I'm actually the production company, I put the blame on you first and foremost, and then bravo. If there's not a single, I don't care, it's a 5-second clip. There's nothing, I'm going to be so pissed off. There has to be something, and I hope that and if they do, I'm gonna hope that they didn't put it in the trailer because, of course, like, let's tease this even more. We're not gonna give it away because, of course, if we do that, everyone expects it to be like, so we have the clip or whatever it is. I think that's too predictable, so that's what I'm going with as of right now. If I'm wrong, I'm gonna be so pissed off.
Especially since the bomb was supposed to be that Bronwyn is separated, which it could still be, right? She could be still shopping with Todd because they're still we're buying
right. Maybe there's more details that might be interesting.
It's just a part of playing the role. You can't give away the whole thing before it's out, right?
Yeah.
But okay, so I'm curious, and now that I think about it, I'm gonna have to watch the reunion too because I'm gonna be seeing spoilers. People are gonna be showing me clips.
You have to watch it.
Okay, yeah. So we'll have to watch it and talk about it, and then so maybe once the whole thing is out, we'll come back and watch it and still give our reaction. I don't know how this will work. We'll talk. Have your people come to people.
Okay, well, my people is on the couch sleeping. So
I know. I know. This was so good, and I thought that the season was phenomenal. And if you told me that it took 11 episodes for me to get locked in with Housewives, I would not have believed you. But
here we are.
We wrapped it up with all 16 episodes, and I am like, there's no way I could not watch it.
I want to recap old episodes with you because I think now that you're seeing things present day, there's something that will never happen for me, and that is going back. I'm like, okay, now let me see like what all the other like stuff is about. There's nothing like it, so I think you should, and then we can recap that as well because I think that is a interesting POV.
Yes. Well, you guys, we say it enough on here, but I will not watch a show unless there are 3 seasons. I'm starting to understand why, because if you decide that you like it, now I have 5 whole seasons to binge while I wait for the next one to be recorded.
I mean, that's like a good caveat, I suppose.
But honestly, this is just so me because even with Sex and the City, I started in season 5. So I just like to get my own snapshot and then come back and see who they are. So it was so good. I'm so happy that this was our first season and it's the best cast ever. And
best cast ever. People Magazine said it.
Yay. So I absolutely love it. All right, you guys. I hope you enjoyed listening to this episode and the Salt Lake City cast. Yeah. I hear my munchkin about to run down here. Make a cameo. She just got out the bath. All right, you guys. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.